Amin has some thoughts on the Kendrick-Drake beef from the weekend. Kendrick Lamar has the top 2 spots on the Apple Music charts. Kind of a surprise, I thought, to see him sort of swamp in views and listening everything that Drake was doing this weekend, given Drake's general popularity. But David Dennis Jr., he's a senior writer for ESPN's Andscape. He's the author of the award-winning book called The Movement Made Us, A Father, a Son, and the Legacy of a Freedom Ride, and he's been writing about this beef all month. Thank you, David, for joining us. Take us through both the timeline, because Kendrick is crazy and he's prolific, and it's just an avalanche of, I'm not going to lose this. Why would anybody ever try this against me? I'm just going to bury you in music. And so your thoughts here are what on how this is going over the weekend, because a lot of people are talking about it, and not until the roast did it get swept from Amin's timeline because of how interested people are in all of this. And Bomani and others have pointed out that J. Cole was wise to lose the way he lost, just getting out instead of doing it the way that Drake is doing.
Well, he didn't lose. He just tapped out.
Well, that's losing.
No, not necessarily.
No, he said the beef was bigger than me.
It's not trying, Dan.
It is not trying,
Yeah,
and then
I'm familiar with
therefore losing. Yes.
So was Michael Jordan losing when he retired? Did he lose?
He didn't win.
He lost, according to you. Retiring.
It's like losing in overtime in hockey.
2-0-2.
2-0-2. Thank you,
David. Your thoughts as the expert on this thing?
Yeah, the timeline goes back about a decade, actually, which is like Kendrick Lamar has been wanting this feud for a very, very long time. Drake has been kind of like not, they've been sort of trading sort of subliminal barbs, and then it just hit the moment of no return a few weeks ago. Kendrick said, let's do this. Drake was ready and did not, we did not know exactly where things would go until Kendrick actually put out a full-fledged diss, which he did with the song Euphoria. So Drake was kind of like, hey, you're short, you wear kid shoes, I make more money than you. And Kendrick Lamar came back and was like, I hate everything about you. I hate your clothes. I hate the way you talk. I hate your music. You have inappropriate relationships with children. Your family is like, not okay. You're not black. All these things that was like, okay, we have accelerated this to a level that we did not think it would go. Friday, we hit our climax where Drake released his song Family Matters with the video, and everybody's like, Drake has come back. And Kendrick Lamar, in a truly psychopathic move, released his song 10 minutes later and claimed that Drake had a 11-year-old child and spoke to his mother and all this insanity, and has just been piling on Drake in a way that nobody thought would happen. He has outmaneuvered Drake, out-rapped Drake, made more popular music. He has these songs are #1 on the charts, and he's seemingly beaten Drake into submission in a way that I did not think we would see.
And featured an album cover of things evidently stolen from Drake's father or from Drake himself to indicate that perhaps he has someone in Drake's camp because he's got Ozempic as a prescription. What did you make of all of that as an album cover?
Yeah, so Kendrick on Friday morning was, it was clear that Drake's music and the things that Drake was going to do were leaking out. People knew sort of what was coming. People had been hearing that Drake was going to have this song out, and Kendrick Lamar wanted everybody to know that he knows where it comes from. So he released his album cover with Drake's personal belongings, including Ozempic, which has been the real winner of this feud, because Ozempic has been name checked in multiple songs. And now we have a rap beef that is about who's using BBLs and who's cheating on whom and who's doing these things that feels sort of less enjoyable than just I'm a better rapper than you are.
David, I'm an old man, so I come from an era where the diss track would come out and then we would dwell on it, and then maybe a few weeks later or even longer than that, the response would come out we dwell on that, and it was kind of a measured. You had space to really absorb what was going on. And Friday I tapped out. I was like, I just don't care anymore. It felt like people tweeting at each other as opposed to songs that were written and recorded in a studio with the purpose of of holding my attention. Am I just old, or is this a feeling that's shared with other people?
No, this is a legit thing. I mean, first of all, Drake started this like bombardment, strategy when he did this with Meek Mill in 2015. He dropped a song, then he dropped another one called Back to Back right after, and that sort of snuffed Meek Mill out. But Friday, admittedly, got like pretty uncomfortable. Like Drake was, saying these things about Kendrick, and Kendrick was saying these things about Drake and the family, and it just kind of felt nasty. And everybody was, a lot of people over it. My article was about the fact, like, I hope this ends really soon. However, Kendrick Lamar kind of brought us back. It was another strategic move with this party song called Not Like Us that he dropped on Saturday night in time for people to like play it in LA in the clubs and play it in Cinco de Mayo, the biggest day party day of the year. And people are dancing to the song about Drake and the issues that he has with Drake. And he kind of made it feel joyous again when it really was teetering on this really, really dark place. And this is a dark place that Drake actually tried to bring us back to last night in a really inconceived concession speech, it seems like.
Does Drake indeed have fake abs?
I don't know. I've never seen them. I've never caressed them myself, but that's been the thing that's been going on for a long time. The rumors that Drake has these fake abs. Pusha T, when he said surgical summer, was alluding to the fact that Drake has these abs. There was a time where Drake was very, very proud on social media, posting his abs, which, full disclosure, it doesn't seem like a bad investment. I wonder how much they are. As somebody who has a doughy figure, I wouldn't mind.
I'm with you. Yeah.
The other part about this is, I think most of these songs, beyond like they just happen too rapidly, are eminently forgettable. How long of a to give you an example, to me the most memorable song in all of this is BBL Drizzy, which isn't even one of the two guys. It's that AI song, like BBL. Like I can't stop singing that song. All these other songs are kind of like, okay, I see the point you're making at the other guy, but it's not. Does it have staying power to you?
I think Family Matters, Drake's song that he dropped on Friday, would have had staying power if Kendrick Lamar had not like nuked it by dropping his song right after. I do think we have some keepers. I do think Not Like Us is actually can be the song of the summer. Like it's about Drake, but it's actually a larger story about culture vultures and people sort of impeding into a hip hop culture who should not be there. I think this song could be like an actual hit beyond the feud.
If I was scoring it UFC style, I'd probably say 10-9 Kendrick right now. But I said it the other day. It feels like this is Mayweather versus Pacquiao 10 years too late, where it's like these two guys back then could have made something so much better musically, where now it's just we're kind of trading shots and then everybody's winning because the rising tide lifts all boats when it comes to streaming.
I think the thing about the Pacquiao Mayweather thing is what actually an allusion I made to in my piece. Like this feels like that, but they feel more closely to their prime than Pacquiao and Mayweather did. The problem I think here is that we've already seen Drake get knocked out. We saw Pusha T hit him with the definitive knockout blow. So it's not sort of much chipping away as we did then. But what I'm surprised by is I think this can actually have true damage to Drake's career. Like at the beginning of this, I thought Drake was Teflon. Yes, he may lose, but he is going to still make hits. But there's so much that Kendrick Lamar has unpacked here that it feels like this could actually do something to his career long term. Is
it more Kendrick's return on that, or is it that nobody in the music industry wants to work with him, right? His songs with Rick Ross were always bangers. His stuff with Future, his stuff with Metro, like all the things that he's usually going to when he wants to make these jams, all those guys are now out.
Yeah, they are, but Drake can make hits on this. I mean, Drake is just wakes up and makes a hit. Like especially in the streaming era, especially the way people do this. Like Drake just finds another area to like popularize. He goes to the UK and takes some of their sound. And Kendrick Lamar talked about he goes to Atlanta. He just keeps doing that, and he can always just make a hit. The problem is now Kendrick Lamar has put so much shade on what those hits look like, where they come from, who's actually writing these hits, who are you stealing from, who are you vulturing from, that kind of makes you question, when the next Drake hit comes. And also the guy has serious issues with women, and that was his fan base. And now that is all coming to light in a way that's going to be harmful.
His latest column is headlined, "The Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud is over," or at least it should be. It's at ESPN's Andscape, and you write in it, quote, "This is how rap feuds go, with women as props for male rappers to insult one another. And it's a trope that's as tiresome as it is unnecessary, childish and harmful for no reason. Rappers sling mud, reveal dark secrets, and go for the proverbial death blow, with women being both the nuclear bomb and the collateral damage." There are accusations of domestic violence in here. You mentioned pedophilia is being alleged here. What are we doing?
Yeah, like this is a thing that has always been in hip hop, and with these feuds, it's like I'm gonna get the dirt on you. Tupac in the '90s said, "Hey, I slept with with Biggie's wife." Jay-Z said, "Hey, I slept with Nas's baby mama." Pusha T says, "Drake, you're hiding a child. The mother of your child is slept with a bunch of people," and so that is now for some reason, or it's been a prerequisite for a lot of people to have these feuds. You have to throw these women in there who have nothing to do with this, right? And we end up judging these women. So Drake says, "Hey, Kendrick Lamar, you beat your wife." Kendrick Lamar, this other guy who's a business partner, Dave Free, is the father of your children. Kendrick Lamar says, "Hey, Drake, you have pedophilic tendencies. You have people in your crew who, have things with them with underage girls. You yourself send underage girls messages. You have a 11-year-old girl who you have not claimed." And it's just like, we don't have to do this. We can just do a thing where we say, "I'm better than you. I can rap better than you." And instead, these guys feign actual, concern for these women that they don't seem to have. Like, Drake, if you have concerns about Kendrick Lamar beating on women, don't name drop Chris Brown at the beginning of your song. Kendrick Lamar, if you're worried about how women are treated, don't have Kodak Black on your albums. Don't pretend like you care when it's time to have a feud.
I'm surprised by this. We have 30 seconds left, but Stugotz has a question he wants to ask.
David, do you find it ridiculous that we're comparing Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan?
I do not. But by the way that they look,
we have beef.
I don't think Anthony Edwards. I'm expecting 3 songs from you by the end of the day.
COB.
David, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot.